Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Today, May the 7th. My name is Judge Esparza. We have some writ hearings scheduled for this afternoon. We do not have a court reporter. If you're requesting a court reporter, your case will be reset for a later date. Not having any objections or hearing any objections, we will proceed. Annalise?
I'm sorry, Your Honor, I'm right here.
Okay, just want to make sure. You ready?
Sorry.
No problem. The first case we're going to call is C-2028-24-E, State of Texas versus Virgilio Mireles. Mr. Mireles? You speak English, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mrs. Cantu, this is your motion. Your client is present. He is English speaking. You may proceed.
Good afternoon, Judge. So Mr. Mireles is being held on a $20,000 cash surety bond for a DWI, third or more. He's been in custody since April 14th of this year. He is not able to make bond. I've spoken to his family and they are not able to come up with the money to bond him out. This is a felony, Judge, and I know that the last one that he picked up was in 2011. So it's been more than 10 years. He did plead guilty in 2014 and did complete his probation successfully. So I'm asking for a bond reduction. I don't know what the court is inclined to give him. As I said, he is indigent. I am court appointed. I believe that if the court orders a guardian interlock as a condition of bond or AIP, he'll be able to meet those conditions. I'm not sure how much. Mr. Mireles, how much money can your family come up with? I know your sister said they didn't have any money.
About $400.
Okay. Annalise?
Judge, this defendant was out or has verifications of incarcerations from 2 assaults from October 27th of 2023 that are filed. So they're pending misdemeanors and he has verification of incarcerations filed. Additionally, he picked up a Mandel 4200, a first degree on November 8th of 2023. So he's out on bond on all those offenses. And on that case, he got a PR bond and he picked those up after he had been let out on the assaults. So I think that based on that criminal history, a $20,000 cash surety bond is reasonable.
Judge, and I'll let the court know that on those delivery cases, they haven't come in. They haven't been indicted. The assault cases, they were still pending. There's no NISI. But as you know, as well as I do, as soon as they, they're not even in booking and the bondsmen are already surrendering the bonds. So there were, unfortunately, but he was complying with all those conditions of prior to being arrested for this DWI.
Just so you're aware, the magistrate who arraigned him did order interlock. What that means, Mr. Mireles, that if you make bond and on the notice, and they'll give you a copy when you're released, upon release, you've got 3 days to make contact with probation and install an ignition interlock device in your vehicle. What that device does is anytime you want to turn it on, you're going to have to blow in it to make sure that you haven't been consuming alcohol. If you have been, it won't turn on. If you don't put that device in, probation will contact me or they'll contact the JP and you could end up back in jail. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
If you do not have a vehicle, probation will have you fill out an affidavit saying that you don't have a vehicle or access to a vehicle, and we'll consider giving you a portable device that you'll have to carry with you every single day, blow on it 3 times a day. If But if you're driving at any time a vehicle, you're gonna need that ignition interlock in it. You understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
In addition to the ignition interlock device, I'm gonna also order random UAs through probation. Probation will contact you also to go in and get drug tested for drugs or alcohol. You come back positive, you're gonna end up back in jail. Is that clear?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you don't show up when they tell you, there's a good chance you're gonna end up back in jail. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Raise your right hand, sir. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
State your name.
Francisco Mireles,
How old are you, sir?
55.
You have a job?
Yes, Your Honor.
Where do you work?
I'm a diesel mechanic. In
You put your hand up. Where?
Diesel mechanic in Port Lavaca, Texas.
You live up there or you live down here?
I work over there and I usually come home on the weekends when there's no work
Where's home? Where do you live?
in Cali.
You have a house or an apartment? You rent or own?
Bring,
Married?
no, sir.
If you're gonna be driving out of town, you need to make sure you have a driver's license. You understand that?
I have a ride back and forth to work.
Okay, all right. And if you're using a company vehicle up there, you need to have that interlock device on it. So,
I just work at the shop. I don't drive outside.
bond will be reduced $7,500, cash surety, ignition interlock, plus the random UAs through probation.
Your Honor. Cash surety, does it mean I can pay a bondsman to get
Yes,
us
sir.
10%?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Anything else, Ms. Cantu?
No, but just so he knows, he's not going anywhere because he has those assaults that we have to take care of. So I'll try to set him up for this week sometime. Thank you,
You
Judge.
understand that the bond was surrendered on some of your other cases, so she needs to either get to one of the courts or get the bond reinstated on those other cases. That's, if you make bond on this, those other two cases are still gonna hold you. You understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
And she said she's gonna work on that. This will just get you out, stay in contact with your attorney, because you will have to show up at a later date to take care of these matters.
Yes, Your Honor.
No drinking, sir.
No, I relapsed, sir. I apologize.
All right, back to you. Go ahead and have a seat. Thank you, Ms. Cantu.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Next case we're gonna call is C1941-24-C, State of Texas versus Mario Martinez. Speak English, Mr. Martinez? Mr. Bustos or?
Good afternoon, Judge. Sorry about my
Good
tired
afternoon.
sleep. I forgot my coat at home.
No problem. Mr. Martinez is present, and he's English speaking. You may proceed, sir.
Your Honor, he's in custody for what I believe is a possession of controlled substance, sir. I think, Delta Group 3 more than or equal to 28 grams, but less than 200 grams, has a bond currently at $10,000, Judge. We respectfully ask, Judge, he's been in custody some days, Judge. I think to my knowledge, I believe it's more than a week. And we'd ask if he can get a PR bond, Judge, and possibly AFP if the court will be inclined to.
I show 88 days. Is that correct?
That's correct, Judge.
State, what's your recommendation?
She's on mute, Your Honor.
Muted.
Oh, I'm sorry, Judge.
Sorry.
So he had this warrant out for this DWI. That's what I was confused about when he picked this case up. So that's why I wasn't recommending a reduction. But
So it looks like from February of this year.
yes, but when he picked that up, he was booked also for that DWI.
Correct. Well, it was a warrant. Yeah.
Mhm. That was my concern, that he had an active warrant when he picked this case up, of a case that's pending, or I guess.
But just my understanding is that DWI is a misdemeanor, Judge.
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Yes, but he was an eyesight for all those years. So that was my concern. We don't have any assurances that he'll reappear.
And that's why code, that's why judge, and I can understand where the state's coming from and we can empathize with that, but if the court's one way to keep a record on his AIP, judge.
Well, there's currently a $5,000 bond set on that DWI, so I don't know, was a verification filed on these?
Well, I guess there was an active NISI when, and so there was a warrant out for his arrest, but I think they already set a bond on it.
Nice.
Okay.
But
It said-
I'm concerned that it was
Instead of
such a
five-
waste.
oh. Raise your right hand, sir. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Speak louder, please.
Yes, sir.
State your name.
Mario Alberto Martinez,
You put your hand down. What city do you live in, sir?
Westco, Texas.
How long have you lived there?
Off and on, all my life.
Who do you live with?
Right now I live with a friend.
You have a job?
I'm self-employed, sir.
Doing?
Graphic design, I make merchandise, cups, tumbler shirts, logos, decals.
How old are you, sir?
I'm 31 years old.
You have children?
No, sir.
Mr. Bustos, you have contact information for your client?
I'll need a new number, just he's been in custody for some time though, so.
You have a phone number, sir?
At the moment I don't, but I have a number I can.
What number is it?
You can get a friend I'm living
What's his name?
with. Jose Alba,
ALVA? What's the number?
956-472-0474.
So you've got a DWI that's an old case, it's from 2015, that you're gonna need to take care of. Do you represent him on that, Mr. Bustos?
That I'm not aware of, judge.
No.
And the appointment's only for the felony, judge.
Okay, so you're gonna need to take care of that case also.
Okay.
And you may have to post a bond on that, I'm not sure. Bond on this case, he's been in there 88 days. Bond on this case will be reduced to, $2,000 PR. Also order random UAs through probation. Same thing I told the other individual, they'll contact you. Make sure you have a working number. When you get out of here, give them a number so they can be in contact with you. They're gonna ask you to go in and get tested. You need to make sure you show up. You come back dirty, you come back to jail. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
If you don't show up when they tell you, we're gonna have a hearing, see why I shouldn't put you back in jail. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Anything else, Mr. Bustos?
That's it, judge. Thank you, judge, and forgive me for my tired, judge.
No problem. Have a good afternoon. Good luck to you, sir. Have a seat. Next case we're gonna call is C 2024-24-J, State of Texas versus Arqual Spearman. Is that pronounced that correctly?
It's Marquilla.
Arquil, yes. QUAL. Okay. Mr. Spearman is present in the courtroom. He's English speaking. Mr. Mesa, this is your motion. And I'm not sure if you're aware, Mr. Mesa, but he does have, actually, I was thinking of somebody else. He does have, wait a minute, that's not Mr. Mesa, that's just Mr. Sanchez, correct?
That's
Yeah,
correct, Your Honor.
Judge.
Yeah. He does have, a couple of holds out of Harris County, Mr. Sanchez. I'm not sure if you're aware of that.
We are aware of that, Your Honor. Because of that, this is why we brought it to the court's attention. I spoke to Mr. Spearman. He's awaiting sentencing for 2 years TDC up there. And he's just waiting down here instead of already serving his time up in Harris County. He's been in custody since late April. I believe he was booked in the April 26, 24. He's got a $5,000 cash surety bond. And Mr. Spearman informed me that he had signed for 2 years out of Harris County, but then he got picked up for this. And so he hasn't been able to make his court date up there to go ahead and just get sentenced. And be sent up to TDC. So respectfully requesting the court would grant a PR bond so he can be transferred to Harris County and just initiate that proceeding. And then if the state wants to continue with the charges here, well, obviously they can continue with them, or they can just decide that the 2 years he's going to serve over there would be sufficient to dispose of this case down here on a 3rd degree.
If we release him here and they take him back up there, this case stays pending, correct, Annalise?
Yes, Judge, like if we release him here, he's got a fugitive hold out of there, but it says, yeah, I mean, he's got warrants out of there, so he'll go back there, Judge.
Yeah.
I mean, my issue is, Judge, is that he's going to be sitting there not getting time credit for, I mean, unless they've already served him with the warrants, I'm pretty sure he's got the hold, but it's my understanding he was already sentenced and he already had an agreement for 2 years. And so I'm just trying to see if we can rush this along as soon as possible.
My concern is on the opposite end, because if we let him go, we have to spend money to get him back here. So we can just take care of this case. We'll give him the time concurrent the same way they will. They'll see the whole time he was in custody and they had a hold on him. They should give him credit because that's what we would do.
It's only been in jail 12 days, so anywhere near, I mean, probably not.
I'm sorry,
near
Judge?
close to- It's probably not anywhere near close to the grand jury, right? I mean, it's only been custody 12 days.
Right.
Well,
That's my concern too, Mr. Canche. If we let him go, then it's on the counties dying to transport him back over here to take care of these cases.
I understand that, Your Honor, but as it is, Your Honor, I mean, the issue is he does have a bond, so he's still entitled to a bond. I mean, I understand the court's concern of not reducing it, but I mean, he has a bond in place right now. The issue regarding the bond is obviously, I believe most of the sureties want the full amount, which then doesn't really make it a surety. And that's the issue we have, is that, you know, I just don't want him sitting in here waiting on a case where he could already be up there, just already go ahead and do his time.
But I mean, that's why he's here, because we have him on this case, and then he'll like go.
They should. Yeah, I think they should give him credit because they're the ones that placed the hold on it down here. So as long as he's with a hold from there, they should give him credit for any time he's sitting in jail here, if it's true that he has a 2-year sentence waiting for him. I mean, I can reduce it, but I'm not gonna give him a PR bond.
No, I understand that, Your Honor. I believe right now it's set at 5,000 cash surety.
Understand that if I reduce your bond, sir, and you make the bond, they're not gonna let you go. They're gonna notify Harris County. Harris County will come pick you up. You understand that?
Yes, sir. I've been in contact with my lawyer over there.
You have an attorney up there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You may want to make contact with his attorney too, and Rudy, and see if I mean, he knows you're in custody here, correct?
Yes, sir. I speak.
Ask your attorney. I don't know. I wouldn't discuss the facts of the case. You have a question?
I was just saying that I was already on bond, and I notified them the day that I got locked up that I wouldn't be able to go to court, which was the next day.
Okay.
So they knew.
Okay.
So they know I'm in custody.
Well, they put a hold on you because they don't want you to get out so that they can take you back, which I think is probably better because you're getting credit from the day you got arrested here.
Yes, Your Honor. As long as he's receiving the credit, Your Honor, I would believe we should be fine. I just don't want him to be sitting in jail and not receiving the credit. He's due over there.
I mean, obviously, I can't guarantee that. It'd be up to the judge up there and the DA. So, but you may want to reach out to his attorney. I'll go ahead and reduce it to $2,500 cash surety. You know, obviously, you have to pay a large percentage of it, but you will have to come back to take care of this case. So, anything else?
That's all I have, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you.
Good luck to you, sir. Next case we're going to call is C 2022-24-F, State of Texas versus Ever Tirado. Hablas inglés, ¿verdad? No. Mr. Tirado is present, he's Spanish speaking. Mr. Lozano is present. Just go slowly, sir, so that the interpreter can provide the information to your client. You may
Sure.
proceed.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Mr. Tirado is charged with smuggling of persons. Your Honor, the bond currently is set at 15,000 cash surety. And Your Honor, I wanted to just bring this one to your attention because of the PC statement has this as an Operation Lone Star arrest, smuggling of persons. The PC statement claims that Mr. Tirado was directing others, but it doesn't articulate any facts to that conclusion that is put in the PC statement. And so, Your Honor, because he can't afford the 15,000 cash surety, and because the PC is potentially deficient for this type of offense, we're asking if the court could reduce the bond from 15,000 to $1,000 cash surety.
Does have an ice hold. I'm not sure if you were aware of that, Mr. Lozano.
He does have an ice hold, Your Honor.
Annalise?
Judge, he has an ICE hold, 15,000 cash surety on a third-degree felony, we believe is appropriate, especially with an ICE hold. We'd be opposed to a bond reduction.
You know if he has family here in Hidalgo County, Mr. Lozano?
Your Honor, I don't believe his family, actually, he does have, give me just 1 second.
Raise
I
your right
believe
hand,
his
sir.
father, I do believe that
Yeah,
his
just-
father is a resident here in Hidalgo County and may be able to house him if he.
Okay. Raise your right hand. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Puede bajar la mano. What's your name? How old are you, sir?
20.
Do you have family that lives here in Hidalgo County?
Yes.
Who lives here?
Papá.
Where does he live?
¿Dónde vive? San Juan.
How long has he lived here?
10 años. 10 years.
Were you living with him?
Hace un año que regresé para México. Traté de venir para acá. Living with him. Bueno, sí.
We're just gonna go ahead and reduce the bond to $3,000 cash surety. You have contact information for him or any of his family members, Mr. Lozano?
I do for his father, Your Honor.
Okay. Bond will be reduced to $3,000 cash surety. If you make bond, sir, there's a good possibility that immigration will pick you up and you could possibly be deported. Do you understand that? But this case will stay pending, so you need to stay in contact with your attorney. Do you understand that?
Thank you, Your Honor.
All
That's
right,
all I-
that'll be the decision report. Yes, thank you, Mr. Lozano.
Have a good day.
Mamacita. You too. Next case we're gonna call is C
No, si lo pagan, ¿cuántos días mantenga ese contacto con su
C 2020-24-J, State of Texas versus Alberto Trejo Jr. Mr. Mesa, this is your client.
Yes, Your Honor.
He is English speaking.
Yes, English speaking, Your Honor.
You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Judge, on Mr. Trejo is a 41-year-old United States citizen He lives in FAR with his parents. I know that after speaking with his brother, that he has been employed with a temporary agency where he does lift operating. That's mostly what he does as far as working with the temp agency. I do know that after looking at the probable cost statement and after speaking with Mr. Trejo at least twice before today, that it appears that the drugs that were found were in the rear passenger seat. And there was obviously a rear passenger in that vehicle. So you know, the claim is that the drugs were not his, they were hers. But I think at the time that the officer made the arrest, that nobody made claim or took ownership of the actual of the drugs. So based on that, Judge, we're asking for a $5,000 PR bond. He does have a case out of 2022 out of the 332nd currently that is pending. On that case, I know that I've been trying to see if I could work with him trying to resolve that case. Obviously, this case right here is going to hinder some of that as far as trying to work something out. But there is another case that's pending. It's a possession case. And that is also a case that the verification of incarceration has been surrendered already on that case. So he has to deal with that bond. And then with this one that is obviously he just picked up. So he's been in jail for approximately 13 days. And I have been in contact with his brother as of late yesterday afternoon. And bond, I mean, they are very tight with money. So at this point in time, that would be our request. If the court considered doing that. Otherwise, the alternative is at least a $1,000 cash or surety with any other conditions the court may deem appropriate. Obviously to keep him monitored. I do know that we have a pretrial setting for May 20th, I believe, on the case that he's got presently out of the 332nd. So that would be obviously reassurances that he will make it to court, and he has been making it to court since 2022. Obviously, this is an older case, the original one, not this one, but the one that he's on.
Okay, State.
Judge, I know Mr. Mesa's aware, we made him an offer, our office made him an offer to plead to that case, that he's out on bond on out of the 332nd, where we're willing to plea him to time for a dismissal of this new case pending at intake. Because he's out on a pending drug case and picked up this additional case, we're asking for the court to deny his bond. And at the hearing in May 20th, we're going to ask Judge Mario to revoke his bond.
Have you had an opportunity to discuss that negotiation with your client, Mr. Mesa?
I did yesterday, Judge. I did explain various scenarios yesterday late afternoon. I believe he spoke with his brother. It might have been late today or late this morning. And so the final text that I got was that my client wanted to proceed with the bond hearing. And, that's all I can tell the court at this point, that, I gave him the options and he wanted me to proceed. So.
And at least the offer was a time served on the other felony?
No, 18 months state jail, Judge, and dismiss this new case.
Oh, okay. Okay, I misunderstood. Mr. Trejo, I know Mr. Trejo for a long time, since he was probably 13 or 14 years old. Not because he was in trouble, but because he used to be my former student. I'm gonna go ahead and issue him a $1,000 cash surety bond. Mr. Trejo, you get out and you make bond, you need to stay in contact with your attorney. Don't make matters worse for yourself. You understand that? Also gonna order random UAs through probation. Same thing, they're gonna call you in to get drug tested. No more drugs, sir. No more drugs, no more alcohol. You understand that? If you don't show up when they tell you to go get tested, I'm gonna have you show up in here and put you back in jail. If you show up and you're still positive for anything, drugs, any type of drugs or alcohol, you're gonna end up back in jail. You understand that?
Yes, sir. Just wanted to mention, sir, I'm 41. This is my first drug offense.
Well, no, you've got another one. That's what you're from back in 2022. It's still pending. Okay. Stay out of trouble, sir. You understand? We give you the benefit of the doubt here. When you go to court on the 20th, you have a hearing on May 20th, which is in 2 weeks, on that other charge. You represent him on that, Mr. Benson, correct?
Judge, we represent him, and I believe that it's more than likely the court will probably increase the bond on that one because of this new case. So that was one of the things that was explained to him as well.
And even if he makes bond on this one, he still has to make bond on that other case too, right?
He has to make bond on that one. So if he's able to get out, obviously, and I know the state's position, and I explained that to Mr. Trejo. But obviously that's going to be something he's going to have to deal with, or his family's going to have to deal with, if he's able to make the bond.
What was the bond on the other one? 5,000?
It was 5,000, Your Honor.
I'll tell you what, then I'm gonna make this a $5,000 PR bond, and he can worry about bond on that other case.
Very well, Judge.
I'm gonna give you a PR bond on this case, Mr. Trejo. You're still gonna have to make bond on that other case because the bonds have been submitted to verification, which means your family can contact them, see if they'll reinstate it, or you may have to pay another bond.
Thank you, sir.
Work with your attorney on that. Anything else, Mr. Manson?
Judge, that's all we have. Judge, may we be excused?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you, Your Honor. You
Good
too.
luck to you, Mr. Trejo. Next case we're gonna call is C 2012-24-L, State of Texas versus Daniel Trevino. Mr. Trevino, you speak English?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Trevino is present. Mr. Basan, your client is present. He's English speaking. You may proceed.
Yes, Your Honor. Good afternoon. General Bazan on behalf of Mr. Daniel Trevino. Your Honor, Mr. Trevino is before Your Honor on it's a possession of a controlled substance. However, it's one of those special felony cases with a minimum range of, with a range of punishment starting with a minimum of 10 years. At this time, his bond is currently at $100,000. By evidence of our appointment, Mr. Trevino cannot afford that. Respectfully, Your Honor, we are asking the court to consider a bond reduction in lieu of the fact that these are non-violent offenses. Judge, we are asking if the court can consider reducing the bond amount from $100,000 to $20,000 cash surety.
Judge, this defendant has an ICE hold, and so we'd be opposed to a bond reduction.
I don't know if you're aware that Mr. Asani does have an ICE hold. Did you know that?
I did not know that, Judge. I was just made aware of that right now.
Okay.
In light of that, Your Honor, we'll defer to the court.
Speak English, mister?
Yes, sir.
Raise your right hand. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, Your Honor.
State your name.
Daniel Trevino.
You're louder.
Daniel Trevino,
How old are you, sir?
35.
Understand that there's an immigration hold on your
Yes,
case. Are you currently on probation or parole?
no, Your Honor.
Just 1.5 grams of meth, right?
That's what I saw, Judge.
Mr. Carino, if you do make bond, there's a good chance that immigration will pick you up, and there's a good chance you may be deported. If by any chance they leave you here, I'm also going to order random UAs through probation. Same thing I told the other individuals. Probation will contact you to go in and get drug tested. You need to stay clean, you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
No drugs, no alcohol. You come back dirty, you come back to jail. Is that clear?
Yes, Your Honor.
What city do you currently live in?
Elsa.
Who do you live with?
I live alone, sir.
Okay,
I live alone, Your Honor.
do you rent, own, or what do you do? I'm gonna go ahead and reduce the bond. I'm gonna lower your microphone, Mr. Hassan. I'm gonna go ahead and reduce the bond to $10,000. Cash surety. With random UAs, stay in contact with your attorney. You understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything else?
Nothing further on behalf of Mr. Trevino. I apologize for the noise, Judge. I'm over here at the juvenile court as well.
No, no problem.
Thank you,
Did
Judge.
you
With
hear
that
the
being
bond?
said, may we,
You hear the bond?
I heard it, Judge. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you,
All
Judge.
right.
May we be?
Thank you very much. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you.
Go ahead and have a seat, sir. That's all we have, Annalise. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Judge.